Alright, so this is I'm Stephen Hersicorn. Hi, hello. That was very bright. I shouldn't have done that. Put my face right by my work light. Anyway, I'm Stephen Hersicorn. This is great guitar build off 2022 electric boogaloo. I don't know. Yeah. So I have the camera rigged up on some clamps, and it appears to be giving me a decent enough picture. So, yeah. Over here, you can see I've been working on my headstock design quite a lot. Now, I'll get the paper. This is what I settled on right here. Can you see that? Yes. Hopefully. Okay, is that good and visible? Yes. Okay. There we go. Okay, so that's it kind of looks like like a dragon's head, I guess. Like if you look at it from a certain angle, like these are the horns, this is the neck, yeah, and then this is the face, this is like the eyes are like around here. Yeah, I think it looks cool, but this headstock, the idea is that it's going to be something of a classical headstock, right? The idea is that I'm going to have rollers, like that are going to. There's going to be 8 strings, right? So there's going to be tuners, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, right? So the tuners are going to be like a classical headstock. Like, I know this is not that, but imagine, like, okay, this is a tuner, right? I know it's a Floyd Rose arm, but you know what I mean. Like, imagine this is the post of the tuner, right? So, and then the tuning knob is back here, right? So you tune it up like a classical, right? So it's gonna be like womp 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 womp. And I think that's gonna look really cool when it's all put together. That the strings are gonna go through a hole in the headstock. There's gonna be 8 of them. With that, so that the string doesn't get bound up, they're gonna be suspended by rollers, 8 rollers that are just gonna be inlaid into the headstock, and I think it's gonna be really cool. It's gonna almost look like that. I forget the movie. It was I forget the name of the movie, but this kid had a guitar and the strings just went into holes on the headstock, and then there was tuner knobs. It's gonna look something like that, right? And so, yeah. So these lines are gonna be like a crest, sort of, in the headstock. Alright, it's gonna be like a crest kind of look. And yeah, I think that's gonna look really cool for my headstock. And it matches the body like this. So you see right here, this was I was originally gonna put my regular headstock on there, but watch this. Watch what happens when I put this. This is gonna look really, really fetching. Check this out. You see that? That's gonna be awesome. Alright? Like, as a headstock, it complements the body shape, and that it's symmetrical, so I can do what I wanted to do, which was have right and left-handed. It fits, and it looks cool. It makes it look more complete, I think. And so, yeah, I think it's gonna look really good that way. And so that's this update. Not completely finished, but yeah, right here. You can see my messy workbench, but you can see all the erased lines. I've gone through so many. Let me get you in a better angle there, so there's not something taking up half the screen. I've had so many erased lines on this thing from like different headstock ideas. It's like, at one point I was thinking of doing something Dean ML-ish, but mirroring the shape of the body. Anyway, how it's all geometric shapes, which I like distinct lines. The curves don't really do it for me. Like a Stratocaster, the curves they don't do it for me the way that geometric shapes do. The geometric shapes look more aggressive and more, I don't know, just more satisfying. Like, you can see how I had the idea of, oh, it's gonna flare out. You know what I mean? I had that idea, but I was dealing with the fact that it's an 8-string and I don't want it to look super wide. You know what I mean? Like, I was not satisfied until I came up with this headstock. I was just simply not satisfied. But yeah, I don't know how much you can hear that background noise, but that's my neighborhood. Yeah. Anyway, but yeah. This is going to be really awesome. I've got drawn out on the wood itself. I've got my my truss rods. I'm using a 3-bar system, which is my idea. See, the way it's going to work is like this. Okay? There's going to be a central bar, right, down the neck. That is not a truss rod. It is going to be a steel bar, a simple 304 stainless steel bar. That's going to be 3/4 inch deep in the neck, because I make my necks man-sized. You know, if somebody wanted a thinner neck profile, I could probably do it with like a piece of 1/2 inch. But the point of the story is that I'm going to do it with 3/4 inch because I like chunky necks, and it's going to have 2 truss rods that are flanking it and fanning out at an angle. Right? They start off narrower. They're only like what, 1/4 inch apart here, and then they fan out to be like, what is that? At the 24th fret, they end up being 5/8 apart. So, a pretty reasonable amount of fan out. These are designed to prevent the neck from twisting. I'm not so much worried about it warping, especially because this is not the real guitar anyway. This is the guitar that makes the guitar. Although this is going to be a real guitar, if that makes sense. So, yeah, I'm gonna start cutting the neck out. Right, because the idea behind this shape is that it's gotta be, it's gotta look so sleek and so cool. Like, for me, the aesthetics are such a big part of the guitar. Like, you know, I understand that form comes from function, But at the same time, it's like, I don't want to just play a Fender Stratocaster. I hate that. Like, look. It's not that I hate it, but like, I'm sick of seeing it. I'm sick of looking at it. It's boring. I like stuff that looks wild and crazy. That's why I see like 80s guitars and I fiend over them. Because it's like, damn, that looks cool. Like, I want my guitar to look like a Lamborghini. Or something of that nature. Or a 69 fastback Mustang or something. Like, I want it to look just clean and sharp. So, yeah, because like all these avant-garde shapes and all this bullshit, it's like, man, if the guitar doesn't look cool, I don't care if it sounds good. You know what I mean? Like, you can make any guitar sound good. You can make a plywood guitar sound amazing. It was, who was it, Brian May, or whoever it was, that had a plywood guitar, or an oak wood guitar, whatever, and it sounded awesome. Like, stuff like that is like, look, the wood does not matter, right? If it is made good, if the pickups are good, if you have the adequate, pickup height and electronic setup for your taste, then the wood is not going to be, even if it does affect the tone a little bit, I don't believe that it'll be a significant enough factor to really change the overall sound of the guitar, And there's been experiments done like the one Glenn Fricker did, which is like, it's pretty hard to object to that. Like, for a while I bought it, but at the same time I was dubious of it. Like, look, even if it is true to a certain point, those are all generalizations, because look, the trees are different. You know what I mean? Like, just because this piece of maple is brighter or whatever, and it's like, at that point you start going down such a rabbit hole that it's like, okay, I might as well just focus on the parts that I can reasonably use to affect the tone, like having onboard equalization or having the right pickups. Like the neck pickup, I'm going to have this EMG P40 in the neck. This is a P-bass pickup for the neck position, because I want to have a bass output. And I have a Retribution Blackout from Seymour Duncan in the bridge. And that's going to, irregardless of what wood species is or lack thereof, because the real guitar is going to be made of fiberglass, not even wood. So, Aristides guitars sound good. They're not made out of wood. If you know what I mean, like, it doesn't have to matter. Like, I think that when people get so caught up in, like, the wood their guitar is made of, it's like, okay, is it the weight that you want? Does it balance how you want? Does it play how you want? Does it sound how you want? Yes? Then it's a good guitar. I think people need to stop worrying so much about, like, little shit that doesn't matter and focus on the parts that they can change, not only with their guitars, but with their own lives as well. Because there's so much negativity where people are like, well, this, that, the other, oh, they said something and I got mad and I got sad about it because this, that, the other. It's like, man up. This is life. In nature, do you see a tiger get upset if, and start crying if, like, a guy on a motorcycle gets away when it's trying to eat him? Like, no, it just moves on and finds different prey. Right? I'm going on a rant. But, You know what I mean? I'd rather change the parts that I can change to make it sound how I want it. Like this pickup is going to be attached to a variable mid-range control, EMG VMC circuit. Variable mid-range control to boost up some of the lower mids that I like in a bass guitar, right? And that is not going to be connected to the bridge pickup, because I don't want that in the bridge pickup, because that's going to be a guitar output, right? I don't want a bunch of low mids in the guitar making it muddy, but I do want that in the bass to make it sound, bigger and fatter, because that's important to me. I want the bass to sound ridiculous and huge, but the guitar does not need that much lower mid-range. That's why I chose this pickup anyway, because it's really, it's got a lot of treble and it's fairly scooped. The whole, don't scoop your mids thing is bullshit, because, look, if your sound is good enough to where you can hear it in rehearsal, and if you crank your amp up to a sufficient volume, your mid-range is going to be fairly saturated anyway, just the way most amps are designed. So go ahead and turn the mids down a little bit if you want to, but be careful about which frequency it is. You know what I mean? Like, because when we talk about mid-range as guitar players, a lot of the time it's like the mids. It's like, well, which part? It's not specific enough. Like, are we talking 700 hertz? Are we talking 500 hertz? Are we talking 1K? Are we talking 2K? Or what are we talking about? It's like, for me in a guitar, I think that you should scoop out, not that you should, but I like to scoop out like 250, 500, even a little bit of 700, in that area that I find those frequencies to be honky and annoying, right? I find them to be detrimental to the sound in a guitar. I like those frequencies on bass guitar, though, because it makes it sound more, it makes it have more balls behind it. Like, it goes whoomp. Like, it makes it go like more than it, But with a guitar, I want that to sound like a machine gun, with the highs and the lows to a certain extent being pronounced in a way, and in the gain structuring of it, the cut and boosts that I'm doing, I want them to make the guitar sound not just full and tight, but I want them to sound ridiculous. Like, I want, when I hit palm mutes, like when I hit chugs, like an inverted gallop, like a like a Gojira or something like that. I want that to sound like a machine gun. That's why I go for slightly lower output pickups usually. Like, this is not as hot as an original Blackout. Alright? So, that's that. Everything about this design, like right here, I'll take you to the paper so it's easier to see, is extremely deliberate, right? Like, I wanted a new shape, but I didn't want to deviate that far from the X-type, the star-type shapes. And so I'm like, you know what would be really cool? To make a symmetrical one. And this was even before I thought about doing it in fiberglass. It was like, man, it would be really cool to have a symmetrical guitar and have it look good. This looks badass to me, but some people aren't gonna like it. That's just the way it is, and that's fine. We can all have different opinions, but for me personally, this is cool. I like it. I like the way this all forms a pentagon, like a diamond shape. Like the way that like a diamond stone is like the side view of it. You know what I mean? It looks like this. I think that looks cool as shit. I like the way the I love the horns, the way they come out and look like, they make it look like, there's a monster in Yu-Gi-Oh! From Yu-Gi-Oh! Vrains that reminds me of this. It was the main character used it. It was, God, don't let me forget it now. It was like, Cyber Succeeds Dragon or something like that. Something like that. It was the Xyz Cyberse Dragon that Yusaku used in the Yu-Gi-Oh! Vrains anime. I think that it, like the head of it, like if you look at the card, it kind of reminds me of that look. Like the eyes would be right here, and the face, and I think it had two things coming out. I don't remember. It's been a long time since I've seen that. But I think that looked really cool, and I seen the booster pack set that card was the cover monster for, and I remember just thinking like, damn, that is, I think it was like the Dark Neostorm set or something like that. You can see my shadow as I'm bulking, don't worry. It's not that my arms are that fat, I'm just bulking. But yeah, I think that this is gonna be like the design for me for 8-string. Like this is my main design that for an 8-string guitar I think is gonna work, because it is mirrorable for if you want left or right-handed. And I'm even gonna try to apply this shape to bass, maybe, and maybe even to a 6-string. I'd have to probably scale it down substantially. You know, it wouldn't be the same size body because this is huge. Like this thing is going to be a gigantic guitar. That's a 30-inch scale from bridge to nut, which the nut is right here, but it's going to be a locking nut, so I didn't start the headstock until here, if you can see that. So that's I really like that headstock shape, because I took the measurements off of this part right here. I took the measurements off of this, scaled it down to 1/4 of the size, flipped it upside down, and that's what this is. This won't like, I'm trying to see it through the camera. I need to just look at the thing like that. Now this is not the same, like, but I was like, okay, if I just do the pointy part, it's not gonna be filled out. So I'm like, okay, you know what? I can do a little loop-de-loop right there, and boom. And then that, one of the ideas was this, was that it was gonna fan out and have horns, and I was gonna do it this way, and I had it filled out like like that. I was like, you know what? I don't have to completely abandon that idea. I can just do that up here, and it looks like a crest or something, and I think it looks really cool, and I think it looks good with the body the way it is. You know, it looks like a natural progression, like there's momentum, like from like whoa, like it gets narrower as it goes. And I think that is really cool. So the idea is that I'm going to have rollers inlaid into there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And the tuners are going to be on the back. Like a classical, right? But they're going to be inlaid into the side, so you won't even see the sides of the tuners, right? They're going to be like inlaid. Not inlaid, but you know what I mean, like what is the word? Recessed. Yeah, recessed in. And I'm gonna get fairly short posts on these ones, and then longer posts for so I get slightly less crooked string pull. I'm not expecting this to be straight string pull, but it's going to have a locking nut, so it does not matter. I said that really excitedly, but like it does not matter. No, it's just not going to really matter that much. And the rollers will keep me being able to have this as like a crest or some shit where it looks cool, but I'm also going to have the functionality of having the rollers, which are going to reduce tuning instability or like it catching on something when it's when the strings are being fed to the tuners. Even though it's a locking nut, it's not going to matter. But this is America, and we go overkill. America, fuck yeah, you know. And so yeah, this guitar is gonna be really cool when it's done. And yeah, it's gonna have 27 frets. When I drew it, this is where the 24th fret goes. This line, right? Let me get down lower. It's hard to squat that low. It's way below parallel for me. Right here. Damn, I am ATG right now. That's the 24th fret, right? So it's gonna extend down to like here, which is fine. You know, you're not really gonna reach those frets as much as you're gonna tap on them. I mean, for me, it's gonna have like bevels here, so you'll be able to like get to it, but they're more for tapping ish applications, I think, is the way I'm gonna phrase it. Now this whole thing is gonna be tuned down. Even though it's an 8-string, it's gonna be tuned down to D, like for D standard. And so yeah, to or maybe like D, G, C, or D, G, and then C standard, or I'm gonna go D, G, and then like drop G but with an extra string. All right, I'm probably just gonna go standard and have it be like C standard-ish. Maybe because I'm doing 2 of these, I can have one of both, so it doesn't matter. So see, because it's gonna have the wooden one, which is gonna be a real guitar, but it's not, you know, it's the guitar that builds the guitar. It's gonna be, because the fiberglass one is actually my entry, right? So this is the wood one's gonna be a mock-up, but it's still gonna be a functional guitar. It's just gonna take longer, you know what I mean? My primary focus is the fiberglass one and getting that done. And the neck profile on this is gonna be a chunky boy, because the neck is gonna have been bulking for 7 years. But no, but because I played my friend's 8-string, and it was an ESP Horizon 8-string. It was an LTD model that was like custom painted. It was like the 208 or something like that, I think was the exact model. But the neck was extremely thin, and I did not like that, especially with having such a wide neck. I did not like it being so thin and so shouldered. Like it kind of had like those, if you're into thicker necks, you'll know what I'm talking about. Where like if you play like Ibanez, it's like really shouldered on the edges, and it's thin. And if you like a thicker neck, you're gonna find that uncomfortable how shouldered it is, because it's like you're holding on to like a hard edge almost. Like if you wrap your thumb around the neck like I do to play notes sometimes. So you want a rounder neck that's a little bit chunkier, so that it fits into this part of your hand, rather than going like this, which for me is uncomfortable. I find, because I play with the guitar at like a 65-ish degree angle, I try to, because I find it more comfortable, like 45 to 60 degrees. But anyway, this is 30 minutes already, so I'm gonna quit wasting your time and just stop talking about it. Even though I could nerd out about this all day. But yeah, And the way it makes a rhombus or whatever that shape is called, the four-sided thing that looks like a diamond, that looks really cool to me. So yeah, yeah, that's it. Thank you for watching RAWR XD. Thank you for watching. All right, bye bye.